Alright people, so welcome to another video in our Mitre deck series here. Let's take a look today at the ESXi administration commands. So while doing the Cyber News episode lately, I encountered this topic ESXi, and I feel like journalists are confused by these terminologies, ESXi and what does it stand for, what attack vectors are there. So I just went to the place of choice for me, and that is Mitre attack, and I found an ESXi page there. So this is the T1675. Let me take a screenshot. So this will be a quick video again. Today we have Wednesday. Sorry for the sound, I forgot to disable the Windows sounds here, but they are disabled now. So we have Wednesday the 31st of December, so it's New Year's Eve, but early in the morning today. So it is 3 o'clock in the morning. For me, usually a pretty good time to think about cybersecurity. Let's go to reading mode here and see, and just read a little bit together and try to get a better understanding of what is ESXi, how do attackers use it, and this is one specific attack vector, but nonetheless it gave me a good idea of why is ESXi such an important topic. So first of all, I didn't know what ESXi even stands for. So let me put that as well. So I just wanted to know ESXi, what is that? And it means Elastic Sky X integrated. Well, great, right? So we are not even one step smarter after that. But there was a solution called Elastic Sky X. So it was from VMware, and they just created ESXi integrated. That I they added it. So ESXi. Products sometimes have these confusing terminologies. So this simply means that this is a historically grown topic here, and same as the IP protocol, IPv4 or V4, IPv6. So these topics they are created at some point with tremendous efforts, and it is historic, and you cannot simply replace them even though you know that they are flawed. And same as here, so these naming conventions they just keep to stick. I was a little bit let's say not too happy about realizing that these letters they don't have a deeper meaning. It's just marketing. ESXi, they could totally rename it into something else. So it doesn't mean environment, security, whatever. No, it's it's but okay. So we are in the execution tactic here in the adversary lifecycle. As you can see, there is nobody claiming credit for this page, and this is normal for Mitre attack pages with not so much content. So feel free to extend on that if you have a deeper understanding of ESXi. So, but what does it mean, administration command? So adversaries may abuse ESXi administration services to execute commands on guest machines. That's what you can do. So ESXi is hosting virtual machines. And these virtual machines, they have like a listener, a listening application. And these listening applications, they are here. VM Tools Exe, VM Tools SD on Linux, and VM Daemon on macOS. And they listen for commands from their host. And once the adversary controls your ESXi environment, there is a way to manipulate the virtual machines that are running there. So this is like it breaks a little bit of the sandbox principle. So usually you assume that your virtual machine cannot be compromised even if it's running on a malicious host. Well, if this command is executed, then not necessarily. And then you see some examples. there are some software development kits and programmatical executions and APIs most and foremost that are used for accessing that. Well, what is the obvious solution to that? We will get to this. Mitre covers that, but again, logging and monitoring. Have on your ESXi host logging enabled, and if that is not possible for various reasons, have it on your hosts enabled and listen for this VM-Tools, exe, VMware daemon, and VM-Tools SD. Monitor these processes and just look when are they executed. That way you can catch this malicious behavior. But that's of course a simple story, right? It's easy to say that, but it's at least it has to start somewhere. So now let's take a look at procedure examples. Oh, yeah, so there's not much, so we will put it all on one page now. Let's return to reading mode. So let's see what we have here. So procedures, we have two. We have a group in the software. The group is ATT&CK. Sounds familiar. So they use the VM-Tools as the exe executable. So not surprising that hackers, they are targeting Windows machines. Not so much Mac OS. So you, as a hacker, you always address the most common operating system, and that has been Windows in the past, even though Linux runs the world. Okay, so servers are using Linux, but Mac OS always used to be a niche. So yeah, not surprising that I see exe here. So they used it to run commands on guest virtual machines from a compromised ESXi host. Okay, that's what you need to understand. The ESXi host can be compromised without you knowing that, because if you have an infrastructure as a service and you buy that, you get, like from Amazon Web Service, you can deploy a container, but you don't have privileges to see on what host your virtual machine is running. You don't see the ESXi host, and this thing can be compromised. So your responsibility in that case is to protect your virtual machine by encryption and by monitoring the processes that are running on it. You can detect any hacker in the world if you can spot the anomaly of the behavior of the hacker. That's easier said than done. They are smart, but um, imagine you sit in a cafe and you just look at the people outside of the window, or you are like sitting along the street and people are walking by. Would you detect somebody who is a thief? Would you see or spot a murderer that passes by you? Well, you wouldn't, unless you are very, very well trained. And the same thing is with cybersecurity logging and monitoring. Well, you don't spot suspicious processes unless you are very well trained in the subject matter, and unless you have seen a lot of systems that are running as they should, and you know the baseline of what is normal, and then you will immediately spot the abnormal. This is what these trained psychologists at the police or at secret agencies are doing. They spot the abnormal person with a high likelihood. And that's what we do in the cyberspace. And it is very normal. So I wouldn't spot a thief or a psychopath if that guy would be standing in front of me. But professionals, they can spot that. And this is us in this case. So don't expect this task to be easy just when I say, yeah, you gotta do logging and monitoring. No, it's not easy, but it's something that must be attempted here. Yeah, mitigation, they say you can mitigate it by, if not required, restrict the permission to perform that kind of stuff. Yes, exactly. So Amazon, Google, or who did I miss? Asia, Microsoft, they don't need access to my virtual machine to do anything there. So it's not even necessary. Oftentimes anyways. And here they have a detection strategy. So take your time, read it. But what they say is just listen for these API guest calls and ask yourself, is that something that belongs to the typical operations of your system, or is that something that ask yourself what is the goal that is achieved by this API call and by the guest execution? What can be the goal? Why is there data exfiltrated, or why is data flowing? Yeah, so this is the logic behind it. And last but not least, let's take a look at the references here. So again, by accident I marked this one, don't worry about this. And so let's see, we have Broadcom, VMware services, they just describe it. Then we have these people from VMware ESXi 0 day. Yes, 0 days exist. Again, Broadcom running guest OS operations. Fairly new, March 25. Again, Alexander Mavi. Then we have Cloaked and Covered, uncovering ANC 3886. That's espionage. Then you have somebody from Fortinet, and again from Broadcom. So those are vendors most likely. Not most likely, but in most cases. So what I miss here is sources like threat intel groups. Okay, Palo Alto, Group 42. We don't see the Mystic Microsoft Threat Intelligence team. We don't see Kaspersky. We don't see any endpoint protection solutions that might detect that. And that's the interesting part for me. So this is an endpoint topic. Let's jump back to this page here. So platforms ESXi, I get it. But the platform is also Windows, Linux, because that's where you spot it, right? So maybe they might want to add the platforms here. Let's mark it. They might want to add it. So as a result of that, we are here not just in an ESXi battlefield, but also in a battlefield of the operating systems and virtual machines that are potentially running on it. And as a result of that, my guess is that endpoint security systems from Kaspersky, McAfee, and so on, Microsoft Defender might be capable to detect exactly what they describe here in the detection. This would be my best guess. But yeah, so far so good, people. So we have seen now a little bit what it is. We have now an understanding of ESXi and one further attack idea. Bring that to your job. See if you are protected against administration command executions. You know where it is in the kill chain step. It's execution, so the breach already happened. So you have the threat in your system already, and they want to execute things now. This is also pretty late, but at this stage you can catch them. Yeah, so we know procedures, a little bit mitigation, some sources. In general, I would say that this technique, there is room for improvement. There is no name, so feel free to improve that. We have seen quite some of those by now. So far so good. So then thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time on cybersecurity. It's time well spent. See you in the next video. Goodbye.